2023, it's the beginning of the new year, and we all know this is around the time that everyone's like, I'm going to improve today. This is the time for me to improve. And they start off by reading some books. How to Win Friends and Influence People, Atomic Habits, E-Myth, Revisited, The Compound of $100 million, 6 months to 6 figures, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you know all of them. People in my age range, early 20s, we have this obsession with being rich now. Our first outlet to do that is self-help books. We're bombarded with Instagram Reels and TikToks on how to make more money, how to grow a business to $1 million overnight, how to win in crypto, how to get women, so on and so forth. And consuming a lot of this content kind of gives us the illusion that we're doing something. I read a book on finances, so now that I read that, I'm gonna be doing better at finances. It gives us the illusion that we're making a change because we're taking the action to read a book instead of listening to music or watching TV or listening to a podcast. Growing up as a kid, I've always been surrounded by this self-help mentality. My dad has always been honing us on honing our potential. Every time we laid down, every time we were playing video games, he'd always get annoyed because he knew we had so much potential that we weren't working on. Scam Likely hits me up more than anybody else, I swear. At an early age, I was really influenced by this content, and into my 20s where I had to make my own money to survive, I needed that inspiration. Inspiration is a very important part of growth. That's the first part of self-help books that I would say is very useful. People get stuck in the consumption part where they're just consuming and consuming and consuming. And the problem is nothing is being done. I personally have a huge problem with too much stimulation and too much information from social media. It's too much information and you can't comprehend and you can't soak up all the information well enough if you're constantly jumping from information to information to information. So one thing that has really helped me with my self-help journey was, if I'm going to consume self-help content, focus on that content and that content only. Obsess about a topic. If you're gonna read How to Win Friends and Influence People, read 4, 5, 6 books on influence. That's gonna be 10 times more powerful than reading a book about money, and then reading a book about relationships, and then reading a book about negotiating, and then reading a book about fitness. It's not gonna help you if you're constantly jumping from topic to topic to topic. But the most important part of all of this is action. If you're not taking action, there's no point in reading this content. There's no point in consuming self-help content. All right, I'm not liking this angle actually. Hold on. That better? Instead of spending all your time reading, put these into practice. Action is the most important thing, as everybody knows, but nobody's doing it. And why is that? Action is the toughest part of the whole equation. And that's why a lot of these self-help authors are making money on you not succeeding. If you were succeeding, you don't need to consume the content anymore. But you're wasting your time if you only stick on the consumption. You're posting self-help memes, you're posting self-help videos, you're listening to self-help videos, you're listening to books, you're reading books, and that's all you're doing. But you're in the same spot you were. Think about that. The most important thing is to take action towards your goals. Get the information, obsess about the information, and then apply the information. And to people that are my age, especially who have ADD, as everyone has ADD, I'm telling you, if you stop and stick to one topic at a time, you'll see way more improvements. As we've all noticed, you read a book, you forget what you learned maybe a month later, unless you go back and read the book. You're better off treating these self-help books, if you're going to read them, as textbooks. We go back to chapter 2, then we go to chapter 4, then we go to chapter 3. We finish the book, and then we go back to chapter 3. If you treat it like a textbook, you're more likely to succeed. So, I mean, that's all I really have. I just recently got on this whole wave of learning about self-help, and it's not really what it seems. I'm in this with everybody. That's gonna be my new motto. I'm in this with you. We're in this together. Because almost all the stuff I'm gonna talk about on this channel is stuff I'm actively working with and actively doing. This whole journey in my channel is to not just make cool content, but be a better person. I've always been, this is gonna be a side tangent that has nothing to do with the video, but I've kind of been on this kick, especially after psychedelics, that I wanted to focus on improving myself instead of just improving my wallet or my car or my house. After psychedelics, I'm like, I want to be a better person. How can I be the best person I can be? Not just for the people around me, but for me. And also, I just love being able to make what I want to make, and that's it. But anyways, that's it. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.